It genuinely feels like it's been years since I sat down, recorded a video, released the video, looked at the comments, and then immediately sat down to record the next video. But that's what I'm doing today, because I had a feeling at the end of the last episode of Airport CEO that I'd probably done a weird thing or two, because that episode took ages to record. I was just having a lot of fun with it, and it was just, I just had a feeling. It was just one of those things I was like, I need to like watch back some of this. I'm not going to watch all of it because I've just recorded it. But I was right. I was right. There were a couple of silly things that I did, and it annoys me because it's a really obvious thing. Because it has something in common with stuff we've done before. Because in the last episode, we went ahead and built this, which was a revamp of the baggage security system. And before that, we'd gone ahead and built this right here, which is a revamp of the baggage claim area. And before this, we built this revamp of the security area. And don't mind this construction going on down here, we'll get to that. This is one I prepared earlier. That's a line I've probably almost never said in my entire career, and I realize I want to be a TV presenter now. Probably, well, on a cooking show or like an art show, so I can do the here's one I prepared earlier thing. But anyway, that's, you know, that's future me. that's something we'll talk about never. Anyway, the point being that I should have done this in the last episode for the international area. We should have just built another floor. And there's a couple of reasons for this. Reason number one is that from this wall to this wall, there are 18 tiles. So we could have 9 passport checks going in and 9 coming out right across here. And that would more than double the amount that we have going in and out downstairs at the moment, because we have 4 going in, 4 coming out. The other thing is that we can go to these large stands, we can upgrade them with jetways, which have to connect to an upper floor. So that means we can actually get rid of the stair trucks that we have here. So that's kind of a big deal. That's kind of a big deal, and it's something I'm just annoyed that I didn't notice. It is something I'm really annoyed that I didn't notice. But it also means we're going to have to make some more changes to this terminal in general, because what I want to do is I do want the 9 passport checks going in and the 9 coming out. So essentially, we're going to have to delete this staff room. We're going to have to delete this bathroom. And we're going to have to go ahead and basically just bulldoze absolutely everything here. So all of that needs to go. All of this needs to go. That needs to go as well. And honestly, those chairs need to go too. And this escalator might even need to go as well. But we'll see about that. We'll see how that ends up working out. And while that's going on, it's probably not a bad idea to mention that I have gone ahead and queued up a lot of large flights. And that's where the thing I prepared earlier comes in. We kind of need to upgrade security. It's not too bad right now. But there was a period of time, and you're probably going to see it again because we have a lot of flights due, where basically this entire thing was full and it was overflowing. There was just not enough security. So what I'm thinking I'm going to do is essentially just double everything up. I'm going to go ahead and take out one of these security checkpoints. I'm going to take out all these chairs and whatnot as well. And I mean, I can use planning mode to show you what I kind of want to do. So if I go into planning mode, if I go and get myself some walls, or rather if I get myself some medium doors, I want to put them there, and I want to put them there, and then I need to do some measuring. So let's see. We're looking at 80 right about there. So I want to go 80 right there, and 80 right about there as well. And then essentially, I mean, this whole area needs to be... Well, actually, the whole area doesn't need to be secure now that I think about it. The whole area actually, this bit doesn't need to be, this bit does need to be. And then eventually this end up here won't be secure either. Actually, probably this one, since it's a straight shot from the door. The point being that the idea that I have would be to get more medium security checkpoints. And I'm sticking with the medium because at some point we are going to completely revamp everything. And that's something I'll talk about in just a second. But this is essentially the idea that I'm talking about. We double up security and we just have everyone sort of funnel around if they need to, and that'll be fine. So that's something we can kind of keep in planning mode for now. I'm not really interested in, well, I say I'm not interested. How much for the hedges? Because they actually help me mark things out. So those are not valid. That's not valid. So I'm going to have to count this, aren't I? Unless I can get walls, which is also not valid. Great. What would that be? 110? Can I mark that out with hedges by any chance? No, I cannot. Okay, so 110. I mean, what are these? 10 each? So I think it'd be the same, wouldn't it? So 110 and 110, so something like that. That's basically the rough layout that I'm thinking of. And everyone just kind of funnels around, does their thing. It'll be great. It'll be fantastic. All right, it'll be a great little setup for security. It'll massively help things. But that's a thing that we'll get to in a bit, because I kind of want to focus, and we're having some issues here as well. Baggage trucks, there's a shortage of those. Okay, we're gonna need more. And there's a shortage of ramp agents too. Oh, okay. Well, let's deal with that real quick, because that is kind of a big deal. I don't really want to hire anyone that's useless, but I'll hire a couple of these guys. Well, not fire you for, but dismiss their applications, and then train up the ones that I've hired that aren't amazing. And while we're doing all this, I do want to talk about my plan, because believe it or not, I do sort of have one. And I say sort of because my plan is quite fluid. It happens to change quite a bit. And basically what I'm getting at is, you know, I've talked about building large airport terminals and doing, you know, one big terminal or this idea or that idea or whatever the idea might be. And I still want to do that. And I did see a few comments on the previous video that talked about the fact that, you know, this is a bit of a silly layout. You know, it's a little ridiculous to be doing what I'm doing here. It's not really working out all that well. Why am I doing this? Why don't I just save up a bunch of money and, you know, build a big terminal? I still want to do that. Also, I am ignoring these notifications in the top left right now because they'll sort themselves out eventually. I still want to build a big terminal. I do. And my idea is still very much to get a bunch of money and then build one giant terminal up here that can deal with kind of everything. So a terminal that takes up the space. I mean, keep in mind, this is the terminal. This is like the main bulk of what we do, right? Security, check-in, everything is kind of handled in this space. So I want to take all that, expand it a bit, build a giant terminal that feeds out to the international departures, the medium departures, the small ones. And I want it to be in this space. But the way I'm kind of looking at things right now is that everything we're doing is a learning opportunity that we can then apply that lesson to the giant terminal whenever we get around to building it. So that's what we're doing right now. I still want to do a giant terminal. I also just really don't want to sit and stare at the game for 6 hours while it generates money. But to that point, it will generate money quicker if I have large planes. So it's kind of it's a balancing act. I hope that makes sense. I hope any of what I just said makes sense. Anyway, let's have some fun. Let's have a little bit of fun and see what we can do. Now, planning mode is off. Let's go ahead and start laying out some new flooring in here just to make everything kind of match a little bit. And then for going upstairs, this whole space is already marked as international and secure, which is great. And then the space downstairs, that's gonna be the tricky part. Now, I think what we're gonna have to do, to be completely honest, is I think we're gonna have to expand this area as well. I definitely think this is gonna need expanded, and the chairs are gonna need to go, the stairs are gonna need to be moved. I think just about everything down here is potentially gonna need to be moved. And that should be okay, actually, just moving it down a little bit. Although I do want to go ahead and just fix that zoning as well. So there we go. We can also take out the... Is that still a room? That is still a room. Let's delete that. It doesn't need to be a room at all. And then this is getting built, which is fantastic. So yeah, we're going to move this escalator down a little bit. And then my thinking would be that we go... So we move it down, and then either side of it is going to be a staircase or an escalator going upstairs, right? I don't know if we're going to do normal stairs on this. It doesn't really matter if we do normal stairs or not, but we'll see. Let's just get this whole thing nice and secure. Let's get it built. Let me tear out the chairs because we don't need those right now, nor do we need the bin right there either. And honestly, doing what I'm about to do is potentially going to mess things up quite considerably. So I think the smart thing to do here actually would be to build another escalator as sort of a temporary thing. And then once that's in, we can delete this one, move it down a bit, and then take out the temporary one. That's basically what we're gonna have to do. That's kind of how I'm looking at this. As dumb as it might be, I think it's the smart thing to do. So let's go ahead. Let's go into terminal. Let's grab you, and this is about to be done. It is now done. So get rid of that one. Oh, I don't know about this. I don't know if this is going to be a 200 IQ play or if this is going to cause my airport to fall apart. Because, I mean, look at this queue. This is ridiculous. There's such a What the hell is that? Oh, yeah, we've got the Concorde and then this, the not Concorde. Okay, I forgot that existed. How's security holding up right now? Oh, it's actually doing okay, surprisingly. Although, looking at the number of people in check-in right now, especially the shop, I feel like security's about to have a real bad time. That'll be interesting. That'll be really, really interesting. And there we go. I think this will do the job nicely. Obviously, this space down here kind of needs fixed up a little bit, so we can just go ahead and do something like this. And honestly, that corridor will... Well, actually, it would probably be better to bring sort of down across and then straight up like that, just to make this look a little bit better. And then what we could actually do if I wanted to is we could kind of put some bathrooms down here. I know that might be a bit weird, but it would be a good replacement for the bathroom that we had to get rid of down here and that we're probably going to have to keep rid of. By the way, actually, I realized I did this and didn't explain that either. I decided to change this about a little bit, just for this one stand, because otherwise this was extending down. It was getting real close to the elevator. It looked a bit weird, so I just moved the self-boarding gates a little bit. And I think it looks kind of cool like this. I might actually make this change to all of them so that the boarding gates are directly facing the door itself, and it might just look a little... I don't know. I don't know if it would look better in all of them, but we'll see. It might once we get rid of the current setup for international flights, which we are very close to being able to do, by the way. And I'm very, very excited about. But first, let me just take out some of these walls, because we absolutely do not need them. And let me go ahead and do this. And let me go ahead and do this. I guess this is just going to be sort of a sort of empty space, and that's okay. Although, it might be worth putting some doors on it just to be safe. But we're also going to want to do a door right there and right there. And I guess we'll throw a small door on there and on there as well. But we'll make that little middle space a staff zone so that no one's actually going to go through there once the bathrooms are in, which is actually exactly what I'm going to do down here. Because I genuinely do think having some bathrooms down here would be a great idea. I think that'll actually work out really nicely for us. So we'll go ahead and do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and a little bit of that. And that should, in theory, let us go ahead and get rid of that bit of terminal right there. And just block up those sections of wall. That way, everyone's kind of forced down and around, and we now have room for the bathrooms. So let's go ahead and set this as a bathroom, and we'll set this as a bathroom as well. Both of them are just going to be lined Do we want to go too crazy with toilets? I guess we'll just do something like this along that entire wall. Something like this along that entire wall. And then opposite, we can do, I guess, a bunch of sinks, something like that. Same on this side as well. I could swear at some point you used to be able to just click and drag in this game. I feel like I've said that before, though. I feel like really early on in this series, I was like, I could swear you could click and drag. I stand by that. I feel like you could at one point. Might have been a different game. There's a lot of games that look really similar, let's be honest. This game has a very similar art styles like Prison Architect and RimWorld and Academia and blah, 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 blah. A lot of those games, very, very similar art styles. Which is fine. It's a fine art style. It does the job. But there we go. I think that works out. We now have some bathrooms. We now have this whole area ready to go. And we have this area up here also pretty much ready to go. So I decided to do a double wall in the middle just to split this up a little bit, which means we have 8 passport checkpoints on either side. And the zoning just looks a bit like this. It's a bit messy, but basically the international zone extends down on this side. It does not extend down on this side, and people can kind of go in and out as they need to. There also appear to be some passengers that are stuck up here, which is a bit of a worry. Huh. Okay, well, I'll tell you what. Let's upgrade you with a jetway. Let's upgrade you with a jetway, which can't be done while there's a flight on the stand. That's fine. We'll upgrade you with a jetway as well. And now that means these doors down here are completely useless, which is fine by me. In fact, that probably means I need to close the stand, doesn't it? Because these... Wait, no, I don't think I do need to close the stand. Okay, so these can be... Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay, so we are going to need to close that. We're actually probably going to need to just close all of them for this little upgrade. But that's okay. We'll get rid of those. That gives us 2 jetways to work with for now. And I'm trying to figure out what the best way to do that's going to be in terms of actually setting up the... What would be the best way to do this in terms of setting up the boarding gates? I think sticking with the self-boarding desks kind of is the way to go, right? Even though you wouldn't likely have self-boarding gates for massive international flights, I feel like it's the best way to go. So I'm thinking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think 5. We have 4 for the lower ones. I think 6. Let's do 6. And then we'll do the same thing up here as well, but I want to look at this. So it's... Okay, I see how we've done it. Okay, so we want to go up here, and we want to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that will be fine, in theory. Now, I do need these other flights to go. I kind of need them to leave. Has this one actually boarded yet? It is in the process of boarding. That's fine. Okay, so once these guys leave, we'll close the stands, we'll get the jetways, and everything should be wonderful, in theory. And there we go. We have 4 jetways, 4 large stands. We have a bunch of chairs needing to go in. We have all of the boarding gates. We have no bathrooms up here, no shops, no lounges, no nothing. But I'm thinking that at this point, we can probably go ahead and start to put all this together. I'm pretty sure we're at the point where we can at least open one of the gates and kind of hope for the best on all of this, assuming I've set it up right, which it's a big assumption, but we will assume that I have done that. So we'll go ahead and do all of that, and I should be able to just open this, and it should just work in theory. I guess we're gonna find out is what we're gonna do. I think that's about all we can do. I'm also thinking I actually kind of want to change the flooring here a little bit. I'm thinking I'm going to go for just this sort of dark marble in all of that space. Just because for whatever reason, I always thought that this wasn't painted on the floor, but it is. That pattern is painted underneath those. So that, I think, looks okay. And then I guess it's just going to be a case of connecting the rest of these and hoping that this works. That's basically this entire setup is hoping that this works, because the idea of the 8 passport checks for, you know, going in and going out is that we should be able to deal with all of these planes. And with the flight planner, we're hopefully going to see a lot of these planes kind of, you know, landing at about the same time. I would imagine that would be the idea anyway. Hold on a minute. Are these all connected automatically? It seems like they are. Is that a new thing? Because they are all connected automatically. That's interesting. Okay. Well, fair enough. I've never seen the game do that before, but they're connected. That's good. That's what we want. I guess the next step is waiting for some massive flights to get queued up and hoping that this works. And also windows. I want to get some windows in here. I feel like windows along all of this would look kind of cool. So, like right there, I think it's a good spot. Basically next to the jetway, I think is kind of the best place for a window. Honestly, it is actually the best place for a window in every airport that I've been to. There's something about it, man. I absolutely adore. Oh God, I'm getting paranoid that I might have told this story before. It really is. This really is like a City Skylines video. God, who was I talking to about this recently? I've no idea. I was talking to someone about this recently, and I love airports. Not anything about the airport itself, but I love the process of going through an airport because it's so structured. It is so predictable. It is so easy if you sort of do it right. I mean, if you've got stuff in your bag that shouldn't be there, then yeah, you're gonna have a bad time. But I like the process. I like the whole, well, I don't like getting up super early for anything really, but I like the process of like, you go in, you check in, you drop your bags off, and you go through security. You go into the departures area. You sit there. It's not exciting, but you just sit there. You know, maybe you get some food. Maybe you get a drink. Maybe you buy some new headphones for the flight. Maybe you get one of those neck pillow things. But it's so regimented because it plays really nicely into a philosophy that I try to like apply to my life, which is essentially this idea that the thing I want to do right now is either going to happen or it is not. There is no, it's literally, it's like that line from Yoda, do or do not, there is no try. And it's like, you can't really try to do something. I mean, you can, but there is no like state of like, you tried, right? You tried is, you didn't do it. It's like it's like saying there is no such thing as tomorrow because there's always another tomorrow. You are only existing today. You are not existing in tomorrow or in the past, right? This is irrelevant really for my airport point, but the point I'm getting at is like when you go into an airport, you are getting on that plane, right? If you're going through security, I mean, obviously assuming that the plane doesn't have issues or you don't get kicked out of the airport for whatever reason, you're getting on the plane, right? And you get on the plane and it will take you this amount of time to get to where you're going. And when you get there, you're going to have to wait for your bags if you have any. You're going to have to get in a car or a bus or a train or another plane, and you're going to go to another place. Most likely a hotel. I really like that strict kind of regime of going through an airport. It's weirdly relaxing for me. And I know that's a weird thing, because everyone I've told that to is like, that is a bit weird. But I like the process. I really do. There's something about it that I just really enjoy. I don't know. I can't really explain what it is necessarily. It is a little bit strange, but it is genuinely just something that I kind of enjoy doing. Also, that flight was what? 1/4 past. Let's do this one at 21:30. Let's do this one at 21:45, which is about there. And that'll be a bunch of big planes coming in tonight. That's going to be an absolute nightmare for the airport. And you know what? I feel like I probably should talk about the do or do not, there is no try Yoda mentality thing a little bit, because I feel like that's a weird like thing to just drop and then not sort of expand on a little bit. Like I got kind of philosophical and then just went, nah, I'm not going to talk about that. Look, I sort of apply like the best way to apply that logic for me is actually with like airports, right? And I know again it's a bit of a weird way to compare it, but airports are actually kind of the best way to sort of describe this mentality, because it is that notion of you are either going to get on the plane or you are not. You are either going to catch the bus or you are not. And if you don't, you know, if you don't get on the plane, so it's not a quitter mentality, just to clarify. It's not, oh, I didn't do the thing I wanted to do, therefore I quit, nothing matters, blah, 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 blah. It's not that. It's, you are going to do this thing or you are not. And if you don't, what do you then do? That's, and it's a mentality that I try my best to carry through life because of the various like issues that I have, you know, mental health or whatever it may be. And it's something that helps me, instead of fixating on the, oh no, oh no, oh no, I messed up, I didn't get the flight, or I missed the train, I did this, I did that. It's a way that I use, I try to, I guess, focus on what I'm going to do instead, right? Instead of fixating on the bad, instead of fixating on the negative, which is I missed the flight, I missed the train, I missed the bus, the car, the taxi, whatever, it's, okay, what am I now going to do? How am I now going to fix this? What is the next step? Because sitting around and focusing on the negative isn't going to fix anything. It's not going to magically, you know, focusing on the negative isn't going to turn it into a positive, right? That's basically the whole point of that. And I realize, much like I said in the last video, if you're just watching this, I don't want a template, I want to copy and paste here. If you're watching this video because it just got recommended to you, you might be watching this and thinking, what have I I don't swear on YouTube. That was really close. I was almost slipped up there. You might be watching this and thinking, what have I clicked on? What is this channel? And you know what? You'd be right to think of that, because I think that sometimes too. It's fine. You're not alone in that regard. But I'll tell you what we do need to do is we need to get more chairs in here. We'll try and bring the video back to some kind of normality. We'll get some more chairs in there. We'll see how they turn out. That should be more than enough for everybody. But, oh, there's the first flight coming in. Okay. We actually should have, yeah, we do. Oh my God. That's a lot of flights. That's a lot of flights coming in all of a sudden. But everybody's look at that. That's what you want to see right there. Everybody filtering through beautifully. Quite a few of them going through that boarding area, which is not what I want them to do. Huh. Okay. That's not quite right, but okay. Definitely not enough passport checking going on for the number of people coming through here, but that is still better than it was before. So that's okay. That is fine. Wow, that is a ridiculous number of people, and that's going to be a ridiculous amount of people going back that way. And also probably a ridiculous amount of baggage coming off of all of these planes. But I gotta say, the jetways are really cool. I don't know if I've ever used them in Airport CEO before. So the fact that they worked out is great. How's security doing? Security's actually doing okay, which is as surprising to me as it might be to you. I wasn't expecting it to be okay. So I'll tell you what we're gonna do. Let's do a little bit more planning, and I will set this all to build, but it is not going to be getting built in today's episode, because here's the thing. You know, I talked about in the last episode, I talked about the whole, this thing has gone on way longer than I planned it to. I really don't want to put up another like hour-long airport CEO video. Don't get me wrong. I enjoy it. You guys seem to enjoy it. I don't think I saw any comments complaining about the length of the video, and I appreciate that. I genuinely do. YouTube doesn't. The YouTube algorithm, I'm sure you've heard so many YouTubers be like, oh, did you know that only 40% of people watch this video and are subscribed to the channel? Did you know that the YouTube algorithm is trying to bury my channel? I'm not gonna go into that because I don't pay enough attention to the YouTube algorithm, nor do I care that. Look, I love my job and I love this channel, but I do not care enough to sit and look at the patterns of YouTube and how it works on an intricate level. I mean, I do care enough to do that when it matters, but usually, look, the point is, right? The point that I'm getting to is the one thing I do know is that YouTube tends to not really enjoy massively long videos, okay? That's what I'm getting at. That's the point. What is this video? I genuinely don't know. I genuinely have no idea. Anyway, I've got this all set to build. This is probably going to help us out massively once we start seeing a massive number of these large flights come in, which for some reason, the game does not want to auto-schedule. And that bothers me, because the whole point of the auto planner is that it automatically plans my flights, and it doesn't seem to want to. Do we have more contracts available? I don't think we do. Oh, hello. Yes, we do. Right. I'll tell you what then. Let's just accept all of them, because that's just going to be more flights for us, and that's great. So do you guys have any large flights? You absolutely do. Okay. So that's today. We want to look at tomorrow, because I want tomorrow to be as busy as it possibly can. So let's grab a large flight, put it at 3:30 in the morning, and let's see what else we've got. So let's have a look. Crown does have another large flight right there, so it's going to be, I guess, 4:45, and that's fine. And then what have we got? Do Goose Wings have anything large? They do not. Maple, we've got one already coming in. Nothing large in there. But then we've got a lot of flights here as well. Nothing large though, which is fine. Going down a little further, we've got these guys with no large flights either. It'd be nice if they did. That's kind of why I signed the contracts. But I guess we'll just find out. Either way, I mean, the airport is... So wait, it's Friday now. Yeah, the airport, I mean, it's going to be busy later on, which is fine. I'd still like some larger flights, I'm not going to lie. That would be ideal. There we go. That's a little better looking. Got a bunch of Nordic flights coming in later on. Saturday is going to be absolutely stacked in terms of flights. So that's good. That's what we're looking for. We want to make this place as busy as it can possibly be. We want to see just how much damage we can do. Why are you guys all complaining? What? What do you mean you can't pass customs? What do you mean you can't pass customs? Why can you guys not pass customs? Hello? International Zone 2, you can pass customs though. Hold on a minute. Why was that not, why was that not an international zone? Are they able to get out now? Yeah, now they can. I don't actually know how that happened. That's a little bit worrying, I've got to be honest. Not really. Oh my God, there's so many. Oh, good Lord. There are so many of them. How did that happen? I guess it doesn't really matter. The point is they can get out now, so that's fine. What are you waiting on? You're waiting on catering. Why is catering not here? Where's the catering truck for this guy? Oh boy. Oh, the airport's falling apart. It's falling apart. Okay, look, I lied. Okay, it has been built in this episode, but it's not gonna be up and running properly in this episode. Even if it is, I'm not even gonna look at it. I'm sticking by my guns to that degree. All right, I'm sticking by them to that degree. I also had a realization in that little cut in the video right there that I feel like if I had to describe my attitude as a YouTuber, I feel like at times I lean into something, and I've genuinely just realized this. I feel like at times I lean into an attitude that could very easily be described as a sort of, I'm not like other YouTubers kind of attitude. And I hate, I hate everything about it. Not even ironically, it's just hit me that's kind of it's kind of how you could sort of describe my shtick. I'm not like other YouTubers. I don't care about the algorithm. I don't care about how many people are subscribed that watch these videos. I'm just like everyone else. Oh, that is it. That is my thing. Oh.